Hello everyone, welcome to India Defence Institute. So in this video, we are going to have a word with Mr. Greesh Pranav, our India student, who just got recommended and then who is going to join OTA GAYA in March 28, and he secured All India 13th rank out of all the cadets in India, and then he is going to join the prestigious OTA in GAYA. So now he is going to share his valuable experience with us. So let's start with the video. Hello Greesh, how are you?
Hello sir, very fine sir.
Yes. So first of all, hearty congratulations for you.
Thank you, sir.
Making into one of the prestigious institutions. With a very humble and a good career that you are going to have. So before going to the video, Greesh, tell us about yourself. Who's Greesh? Tell it about yourself.
Yes, starting with my name is Greesh Pranav, and starting about it, I've been having this aim of joining the armed forces right from my childhood. This one came from my father. He was a soldier in the Indian Army, and he always wanted to see me in uniform as an officer. That's when this all started. And then since I lost my father at a very young age, my preparation has been all alone, and I didn't have the exact pathway of how to join the forces and make it as an officer. I did my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya No. 2 Air Force Station, Tambaram, and I was an NCC there as well. And after that, I did my BTech in Mechatronics from Hindustan University. And there also I was a part of NCC, and I'm an Air Wing NCC C certificate holder. Okay. And later on, I gave my first attempt of SSB in August of 2021 after my graduation. It was Navy and SSB in Kolkata. That was my first attempt, and I got conferenced out there. So yes, this is my gist. I'm a technical graduate in mechatronics, and I'm an NCC Air Wing C certificate holder. I've represented Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, and Andaman Nicobar contingent in the All India Vice-Army Camp 2018. Yes, sir.
Good. So you are a typical, NCC brat who aspired to be a defense officer. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about your SSB experience. So you may have it, graduation, NCC and all. So start with your SSB journey. So how many attempts you took? Like how far? How long you came?
Sir, telling about this, I've given a total of 15 attempts.
15.
Out of this, I got recommended twice. Yes. One for Army in the SSC Tech 62, yes, and one for Navy in the June 2024 course. Yes. So got recommended in both these. These two were in my last two attempts, 14th and 15th attempt. Before that, I've been conferenced out 9 times, and I got screened out 4 times.
4 times screened out and 9 times conference out.
Yes.
Fine. That's a very long journey indeed.
Yes, sir. It's been 2.5 years.
Yes. Great. Yes. Fine. So tell us how it all happened. You know that you have a passion in defense, that your father was in army and all you told, but initial phases you got 4 screened in, and later again you had this screened out and all, and then 9 conference out. How well you persisted in this many years? Like what pushed you all these years?
Throughout my teenage or even till date, the only aim I had in my career was to become an officer in the Indian Army. I couldn't see myself as doing something else ever in my life. The only thing I used to dream of is becoming an officer, that too in the Indian Army, even though I'm quite passionate about the other 2 forces as well, but still my aim towards the Army is quite special. Yes. So, yes, the driving force, I don't find any other reason apart from this. I had this self-motivation from within itself, which was driving me always. So, yes, even though I was getting screened out and conferenced out multiple times continuously, even after trying different exam entries, after clearing CDS where I got conferenced out, there was actually a major heartbreak. But even after that, this thing, it used to keep on pushing me towards these forces. Even on the attempts in which I got recommended, I wasn't actually even planning to go for this attempt. I didn't even book my ticket or train tickets to reach the SSB center. I was like, okay, let me see on that particular day. But when the day came, I knew that I had to be in the train and I had to reach the center, because my mind wasn't ready to accept anything else apart from going
to that intangible something is there pushing you.
Always from within.
That can't be explained, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That only the person who's so furious and who's so devoted to become badly wanted to. Only those persons can feel it, in fact, an intangible one. Good. So on the 14th attempt, you got recommended finally.
Yes, sir.
Share about the experience of this 14th attempt, please. Like what happened in this 5 days. And tell me also any memorable and very unique instances which you still remember and you still think of, and the challenges that you face. Just in detail explain about the 5 days SSB process.
So those 5 days in which I got recommended, that wasn't no special, except on the day of result. I didn't feel anything special till that. Everything went on usual like my previous attempts. I knew I'll get screened in. I was very confident about my screening. These days I don't even think about being screened out. I've got that much of confidence now. So I knew I'll get screened in, and the same way I got screened in after the day 1. Documentation, everything went on well. And the day 2 came where day 2 morning we'll be having a psychologist test. And I forgot to mention, this attempt where I got recommended was in 11 SSB Allahabad.
Okay.
So my psychology test also went as usual. The only thing or only difference I felt was I was able to give more quantity and quality in my psychology test, both in the thematic apperception test as well as in the situation reaction test. I could reach 55 SRTs, which I've never done before that. And my quality in that and that was also really good. I felt that. But then I didn't feel anything related to recommendation. I didn't even think about recommendations. It went on well.
Just compare it to your last SSBs. Compared to the last SSBs, this time the quality was good. Like that you were convincing.
I felt that yes, I've been improving because I've always been focusing on improving, and I have improved. I could feel that. But I could never relate this improvement directly with the recommendation or the result. So it went on. And my phase was I was actually preparing for a banking exam that particular time as a backup job opportunity because it's been 2 years without a job. I mean, without a permanent job after my graduation. So yes, I was preparing for some other examinations as well in the SSB center. My focus was on that. And the day 3 was GTO task. And not to mention, yes, we were 22 totally. So our group was divided into 3. First 2 groups were 7 each, and we were 8 in our group. And I was the last chess number 22 because of the number of conference attempts I have.
Okay, so you are more experienced person in that group.
Yes, sir. As always, I'll be the last person.
Fine.
Last chess
the
number.
last man standing. Huh?
Yes. And GTO task was also special for me. My GTO always goes well. And the same way, my group testing went on very well on the day 1. And the day 2 is when I felt a slight difference. Because starting with especially those 2 tasks which we'll have on the second day of GTO, the individual obstacle and the command task, there I could feel some difference compared to my previous attempts. Because in the individual obstacles, what we usually do is the officer will give us a minute's time to take a look around the obstacles and ask us to do it in our own manner, however we feel comfortable. But in that particular entry, what he told was, he told us to do everything in a sequential manner, starting from 1 and finishing on 10.
Before that it will be like in your own way of sequences in your mind.
Yes. Each candidate will have his or own way of doing the task. But that particular time, it was determined by the officer. He told you will start with 1 and you will finish in 10.
So you have to keep on dodging from here to here, looking for numbers.
Yes, because those obstacles, those who have been to SSB will be knowing it will not be arranged in a sequential manner. One, for example, if 1 is at the right corner, or 2 might be at the left down corner. So that was one thing. And second thing, what he did was, usually in the group testing tasks, we'll start with the lowest chess number and finish with the highest chess number. Me being the highest chess number, I'll always feel that yes, I'll be the last person to be called. But he suddenly came to us and told, now we'll start with the last chess number for a change. Chess number 22 will start, and I was chess number 22. So we were all shocked, and others were in fact happy because I'm
because you're the one, who's the scapegoat here.
Yes. And I was blank about because we couldn't see where obstacle 1 and 2 are. I couldn't, after 1, I didn't know where obstacle 2 is. And apart from this also, he gave us even more of obstruction there. Usually what we'll do is we'll only have 1 or 2 things to do on certain obstacles, like shouting the Tarzan's voice and Tarzan's swing. It's all very common. But he gave us 5 different things to be done in different obstacles, like shouting a chess number and command task and the double barrel jump. Everywhere he had like given us something to convey. It is all to check our attentiveness, and that was quite because everything will be running in our mind. I have to remember about what he told about that particular task, how to perform that, and also I'll have to find out where the next task is.
You just added more weight.
Everything within the 3 minutes. That was very challenging, but yes, fortunately we all were able to do it very well. And that's the reason he was testing our group, because 3 of us from our own group itself got recommended. That went well. And the second thing was the command task. Command task, I've done so many difficult command tasks because my GTO tasks mostly go very well. That particular time, I didn't have a very difficult command task. It was an average one. But then, after I went to the center path, there will be usually 3 paths, and I chose one. I reached the middle, and then later on, GTO started reducing a rope, and he started adding more obstructions to my obstacle. That is where I got stuck, because it was a very easy task. It was a very simple idea that I had to execute, but I didn't know that. I couldn't even figure out the easy idea over there, and that's what I felt very sad about. And sir was even adding even more of difficulty to me. He told, you have only last 5 minutes, and he asked me how many seconds are there in 5 minutes. I told 300. I actually told him 360 first, and then I told, no sir, it's 300.
Okay.
And then he laughed and he told, okay, ask one of your subordinates whom you feel is not required to count 300 in reverse.
Okay.
And I told him, one of my subordinates, he was like, reverse. As he was blabbering, because counting in reverse is not actually very easy always, as you think. He got stuck in between 1 or 2 times, and GTO sir stopped me every time, and he told, see, your guy is not able to count. Then I had to get him the numbers, 279, come on, 278, start counting. So these are all funny conversations, because even though I was thinking about my task, we were laughing.
Yes.
I was laughing literally with the GTO, and he was also smiling, and he was also cheering me up. And then yes, of course, I was able to successfully
just checking the depth, like how far you can withhold without buckling.
Yes, sir. But that particular time, I didn't realize all this.
You didn't feel at the time.
At that particular time, I didn't feel that he was trying something and all. For me, it was just a normal task.
Fine.
I was struggling in it, and I was trying to do my best and get it done.
You completed it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good. So finally, how was the conference day? That is the last day, or the doomsday, they say, right? D-Day or Judgment Day. So how was it? Like, that is a day where all the the people, they'll be like they will be anxious. Yes. They don't know whether to call their parents to say that this time also I went out, or they have to call happily and then say that I finally met. Yes. So how was it for you? And you told that you were the last chess number. Yes. That will be even added weight for you, because you have to endure it for the before conference. And how was the last day for you?
Since I've seen so many conferences before that, and that particular entry, I didn't have any thought about the results. I was actually very chill. And it was my friends, my roommates, because I was the most experienced candidate in the lot. Yes. They were all asking me about questions, doubts, their things, and only thing I told them was, stay calm. Whatever has happened. We can't change anything in the last minute. Okay. So whatever was coming out, we'll have to take it. And I didn't have any expectations at all. I was readily booking. My ticket was in waiting list, sir, and I was hoping that it gets confirmed for the next day, so that I reach home early and get my banking exam done. That was my only thought. And yes, my interview also went on. My interview was the last one to happen on the day 4 after GTO 2. I was the last one left for interview, and president took my interview. My interview also went well. Yes, I blabbered a few questions. He asked me certain mathematical questions and all, for which I gave completely wrong answer, and we both were laughing after getting to know that. And since he was the board president, in the conference also, he was the one who was asking me questions. Yes. And
during your interview, did you feel that in this specific question that I aced with the proper answer? In that way, I really did answer well. Is there any instances where you felt, yes, I did well? Even you can able to feel it, right? Is there any instances like that?
There were multiple instances, sir. Yes. Even though I couldn't recognize these things while I was in SSB, later on when I was recollecting my memories, yes, I was able to feel, yes, these particular answers made him probably
like any examples can you share?
One thing was, he was asking about my strengths and weaknesses. I told him, sir, I'm a very straightforward person, which is one of my weakness. He asked me to give an example. I gave him 2-3 instances where it happened to me in my personal life, where I had to fight with people or get justice done in a straightforward way. Yes. He asked me about, I gave him the literal examples of what and all happened. I gave him 2 examples of one wherein a robbery happened in my home and I had to do certain things.
Your own life experiences.
Yes. And another one was the train ticket, wherein mostly we experienced during North Indian railway journeys. That even after having reserved tickets, we'll be facing a lot of issues with people getting in those. And I always used to have a conversation argument with the TTE. And the same way, I told him, sir, because since it's a reserved ticket, this is how it has to happen, and I addressed the TTE, but things are not happening this way. I used to tell him. So he asked about these issues, and then he asked me, okay, how was your train experience this particular time? And I told him, sir, this time I myself came in general compartment, so there is no TTE I can go and fight with. So he also started laughing, and that was later on I realized that was one good answer which I gave him.
In fact, yes, you were indeed straightforward, in saying openly that you came in general.
Yes. And one more important thing was, I'm very weak in mathematics, and I haven't done really well in my 12th standard mathematics as well, and even in my graduation I had multiple backlogs in mathematics, M1, M2, M3, I had everything backlog. I later on cleared it. But he asked me about it, since his question was, since you know that mathematics is your weakness, why did you take up engineering knowing that you'll have to do a lot of mathematics in it? You could have taken some other degree and
try to pull your legs, yes.
I told him, sir, yes, I don't like mathematics. Till date, I'm weak in mathematics and I don't like mathematics. But not liking one particular subject will not stop me from taking the whole concept of engineering, which I love to do. This is what I told.
Yeah, that's one deep thing that you can say. Yes. Just because one thing is not fine doesn't mean that I have to quit the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yes. Indeed, he was impressed.
Yes, sir.
You just again you are being straightforward here.
Yes,
You're just doing the two things same. Okay, in one instance here. Fine. So on the conference day, how it happened? Like you entered the hall, and generally there is also some people the aspirants to say that some time will be there.
Yes,
they'll be discussing about you. How much time it was there for you to wait there?
Yes, sir. Previously, I've had certain conferences where I had some waiting time and all, but I didn't really perform well in the conference. This time, what happened was, there were out of the total of 22, 5 of them had a long waiting time. One of them had a waiting time of around 30-35 minutes. He was waiting outside.
Okay.
And since I was the last chess number, I had to wait for all their waiting time also.
Exactly.
I was waiting for like 2 to 3 hours for their waiting times in total. But what happened was, after chess number 21, mine was 22. There was no time at all. Immediately they rang the bell and the chess number flashed in the screen.
Yes.
Okay, I understood.
It's done. It's done. Okay. Time to back up. Yes.
I was very clear about it.
Yes.
But I entered the conference room and my GTO sir was sitting right in front of the door. So I had a friendly nod with him.
Yes.
And then I went and sat in the chair. President, as I told, he asked me a question. He asked me only 3 questions. First question was, okay, what was running in my mind while I was sitting and waiting for this
last 3 hours?
Yes.
Yes.
Compare it with your previous attempts, and he told. I told him, sir, I was thinking about my previous conferences and what and all experience I had in my previous attempts because it was a long waiting time.
Yes.
And there were a few songs running in my mind because it was a long waiting time. One after the other, I was playing those songs in my mind and enjoying my time alone.
Okay.
Since I was alone in the room
Yes.
while waiting. So he asked me, okay, what is the song? Yeah. I didn't know the name of the song, so I had to sing the first line abruptly.
Yes. Which song, by the way?
Even now, I don't know the name of the song. It was it's this Hindi song.
Yes. Can you tell the actually? In fact, indeed, you sang there.
I didn't literally sing, but I told them this one line, single line.
Can you share this? I know this.
ये रातें ये मौसम नदी का किनारा.
Okay.
There's a song.
Okay.
Because this was in my WhatsApp status the previous day, and I was listening to it while coming for.
Yeah, sometimes it will keep on. One tab will be there with that one song keep on going the repeat mode. Yes.
So I told him this.
Yes.
And then once I said this one line, sang probably.
What happened to the board, by the way?
Everyone started laughing, sir. Especially everyone in the psychology ma'am and all. They were sitting on the left side of me.
Yes.
They started literally laughing so loud that even I was surprised, and I turned my head from the president and saw them.
Okay.
And then everyone were laughing for a minute. Even my GTO sir's head went down and he was laughing this way. I could see that. And then president was like, okay, come on, we'll move on to the next question.
Fine. Okay. Another question. Like, I'm very curious here. Did you know the meaning of that specific lyric? Then you sang?
Yes, sir, I didn't know, sir.
Fine.
Since I know Hindi, I can understand.
Good.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I thought maybe they'll be laughing. Fine.
I'm not sure about it, sir.
Fine. Yes.
And the second question was, he asked me, okay, if you're given a chance to repeat any 2 tasks in this SSB, which 2 will you repeat and why?
Okay.
This was his question. So I told, so the first one would be my situation reaction test in the psychology part, because I've always wanted to do 60 SRTs at least once in my life before completing my SSBs. Till date, I couldn't do it, and I was able to complete only 55 this time. I told sir, I'm not satisfied with this.
Okay.
And the second thing was, I told him my command task in the GTO series. Because as I already told sir, I wasn't satisfied with my command task. Even though it was a much simpler task, I took a lot of time and advices from GTO sir to complete the task. So I told him if I'm given a chance, I'll improve on these 2 things.
Okay. You felt it is not up to the mark of you.
Yes. And he then said, okay, one last question. What are the facilities and amenities that you made use of in the SSB state? Usually I used to use a lot of things. I used to play badminton, table tennis and all. But that particular time, I was only doing 2 things, sleeping and studying for my banking exam. Apart from the SSB process, the remaining time, I'll either sleep and take rest because my journey was not very comfortable, and else I'll study for my banking exams. I had brought all the materials with me. I had carried everything. So I told them this openly, sir, I didn't make use of any materials.
Okay.
These are the only 2 I...
You just told them that you are having snacking and you are napping.
Yes. And I even told this, if this happened, but I didn't tell him. We'll have this evening fall and roll call in SSBs. I didn't attend 2 of those roll calls because I was sleeping. And even the CHM was he was a very friendly person. He knew that I'm a repeater, hardcore repeater. So he was like, okay, he knows the rules. So let him sleep. No one disturbed me. I was sleeping. I didn't even attend the roll call.
Okay.
So I told them, and then said, they just asked me the pleasantries, and then they told, yeah, thank you, Greesh. That's all.
Fine. So the results, then they announced the result.
Yes.
How was it?
Results also came very quick in this board. I was the last person. I was rushed to go and have my lunch. I came back within 20-30 minutes. Deputy President sir came with the results, and they announced the results. I knew the chess numbers. I'll still remember those: 6, 8, 15, and 18. And then they saw the paper again, and I knew it was going to be me. Something told me that yes, it was going to be me after 18. They called out 22, and then after all,
there was this gap, a little gap there was.
Yes, there was a gap. Yes. There was a small gap where I was eagerly waiting for what is going to happen, because until that 18, I was not at all nervous. I wasn't even ready for results. I was keenly waiting about when I'll get my mobile phone back.
Okay. Because you have to plan your next trip.
Plan my next journey, as my ticket was on waiting list, not confirmed.
Okay.
But then when they announced this chest number 22, that's all. Everything went blank for a certain time.
Okay.
We were asked to stand in the front, and they all applauded, and literally I felt that each and every person in that room was happy for me, because they used to tell with the number of attempts and the hard work I've given, clearing all these exams, and then again conference out all alone. So everyone was literally happy for me. I could feel that.
So that's how it all ended. Fine. Yes, so fine, and also you finished your medicals also without
yes, sir. Immediately
issues.
I got
medical into the merit list, and
yes,
you are going to join.
Yes, sir.
March 28th.
Yes, sir.
Fine, great. So that's one hell of an experience, isn't it?
Yes.
So after that, did you go to any SSB? I think you went for Navy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Immediately I had my NCC entry, but unfortunately due to the cyclone in Tamil Nadu, I couldn't go for the NCC entry. Then it was this Navy entry in Visakhapatnam.
Okay.
There also I got recommended.
Okay.
And here, yes, to mention, I was the only one to get recommended.
Okay.
We were 21, sir.
21. Okay.
21.
So how many reported there?
Approximately around 140, if I'm right.
140? And
140s was the last number, and 21 was screened in.
In the 21, you are the only one.
Yes, sir.
Fine. What was the chess number? 21?
I was 21, obviously.
Fine. I think this 21 and 22 is working a lot for you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Fine. So after that, there is no stopping for you. The only thing you have to stop with that, you have to go to join the academy there.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Yes, good. And it was really a good experience. And again, congratulations for you, because you made it into. And you do have any doubts with academy you are going to choose, like which service you are going to choose? Sure, it's Army.
Definitely it's Army, sir.
Yes, even if you get Navy.
Even if I get Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, everything, because I have no biasing towards these forces and all. But since Army has been my childhood dream, and
then definitely in your Vizag board, they would have asked you, right? Like if I tell, I recommend you, because you will be going there. You would have been there with recommended candidate.
Yes, sir.
So definitely they would have asked you, okay, which one you are going to choose, Navy or Army? So what was your answer there?
They asked me multiple times, sir, including in the conference, and my GTO also asked during this pep talk before my command task. Same answer, sir, Army, because this is my preference, and that's where I'll be joining.
Okay, so you are being straightforward there.
Yes,
there
sir.
Also.
Yes, sir.
Fine. No, still, this will be very intriguing to the people who are watching this video. So because even after that, he is very sure about getting into the Army. Still in the Navy board, he told that still he want to be in Army. So I think that's what you are living up to the name. So you being straightforward there, is being straightforward not only for the board, just for everywhere there. Yes. But still you went there and you tried your chances there. Fine.
I just wanted to have a backup, sir.
Exactly. Yes. There is no problem in having a backup. Yes. Provided some people will be having another career as a backup. So here is a guy who would have another service as a backup for him. Yes. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. And Greesh, let's talk about your NCC. So you told that you have been also part 1. Yes, Greesh, we will talk about your NCC journey. So tell me how NCC was good in helping you to groom yourself. And with respect to this, there are a lot of jargons. There are a lot of misnomers saying that some people saying NCC is a must to be in defense. Some people say NCC is not a must thing, mandatory thing. You can still make it to the defense. So how do you feel? What do you feel about that? Is NCC is necessary or not? That is the first thing that I need you to address. And the second thing, how was your NCC journey helped you to be in the defense?
Talking about NCC, it's up to each individual's perspective if it's a must or if it is not required for them in their journey. But personally, I feel that yes, NCC has given me a lot of things, and after joining NCC is when I realized there is something called SSB, and I got to know about the SSB process itself. So that way, and till date, it has been helpful for me in multiple ways, grooming my character and all. But then calling out, if someone is not interested in NCC but still if interested in a career in defense, there is nothing wrong about it. they can excel in some other field, including in their education. They'll have to be excellent in their education and then participate in something else which they are interested in. Because NCC is not a sole criteria to join the forces. But there's this one big advantage is we have a direct entry in the army and also
NCC special entries.
Yes, sir. Yes. In the air wing and navy wing also, for their particular wing, they give their cadets a direct entry. So which is an added advantage. We don't have to go through this hardship of clearing UPSC, CDS or the AFCAT exam.
Yes.
So this is one great advantage talking about NCC.
Yes.
My life in NCC has been, as I told sir, after joining NCC is when I realized a lot of things about SSB and the process and all. Because after my 12th standard, I was, yes, I wanted to become an officer. I knew that. But without any guidance and mentorship, I didn't know how to do it, what has to be done. Only thing I knew was, yes, joining NCC will help me. So I found a college with NCC. Yes, I joined there.
Took the leap of faith.
Yes. And that is where it was actually really helpful for me. I got to meet a lot of seniors or batchmates who had already given SSBs for NDA or different entries. And I could even meet one of my senior. As soon as I joined, he was passed out in 2017 and I joined in 2017. He was recommended in this AFSB and he is now a fighter pilot. He's a flight lieutenant now. And he came to elaborate us about the SSB process and all. That was kind of an eye opener about what will happen in SSB. Until then, I didn't know. And even till date, NCC actually gave me a name in college. Yes. Everywhere I've been having a certain identity for me, unique identity for me, which I personally like. During school days, it was different. During college days, now it is different. But during my college days, it was NCC. If someone calling out NCC, they'll all know that yes, Greesh is there because I was the college senior also during my third year, and I was a good performer too.
Yes.
I've represented my college and state in the national camp.
It became the unofficial title bestowed on you, isn't it? NCC.
Kind of, sir. NCC gave me that particular.
Which wing you were in, by the way?
I was in the air wing. NCC.
Air wing.
Yes.
Great. So it helped you to know things a lot about it and also to groom a lot about it. Like what about the camps? How many camps you went?
I've been to a total of 2 combined annual training camps, wherein one was my first camp and the other one was my last camp as well.
Yes.
During my last camp, I was also the camp senior there.
Okay.
And in between, there's a series of camp before reaching the national camp, the All India Vayu camp, the intergroup competition camp and the Vayu training camp, Vayu launch camp. I've been through all these camps, probably a total of 6 camps.
So total 6 camps you have done there. Fine. Yes. Good. That's really good. Yes, and also you represented, that South India level already you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
So what is that?
I've represented Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Andaman Nicobar contingent in the All India Vayu camp 2018.
Yes.
And yes, proudly saying we were the winners that particular year.
Great.
Our contingent won.
That's good. Yes. You excelled in the areas where and all you went. Yes, and the NCC definitely has helped you to grow.
Definitely, sir. Yes.
Fine. Okay, great. So let's talk about NDA, National Defence Institute. And you know that you told that you have a lot of screened out there, and then what is the journey like? How you came here? Like, what is the reason that you reverted back to NDA here? What is the reason for you to come here?
Only reason was initially I was under the idea of clearing exams on my own and getting recommended on my own. I didn't believe in this coaching guidance thing because I've never taken any tuitions also, even for my school days or anything. I've never been someone who used to take classes. I'll study on my own and get things done. But then in the SSBs, after a break, when I got my first 3 were conference outs, and the next 4 times continuously I got screened out. That was literally a heartbreak for me. That to going from here to Allahabad and getting a conference out, I'm screened out.
Conference and again screened out is one of the biggest remorse that we can carry. Yes.
After feeling all these hardships, I felt really bad. So, and my focus shifted from direct entries to exam entries. I understood that yes, I have to, because this was one particular major areas where the interviewing officer will be poking.
Yes. Did you appear for any exams before coming to NDA?
Yes, sir. I did appear for this AFCAT and CDS, but I couldn't clear it because I wasn't very serious about these exams.
Yes.
But then, right from when I started taking it seriously, I had only 2 months for CDS, 2.5 months. I knew that sitting home, I won't be able to clear it because 2.5 months is a very short period for someone to prepare for CDS, starting from basics. So I was looking for a coaching institute where I'll get this proper guidance to clear these exams. And in Chennai, out of all these, after shortlisting and all my views, I found this one to be the best because of the atmosphere over here and staffs. And this is the only place where when I came for this CDS coaching, I got a positive word of yes, you can try for CDS, because others were, wherever I went, they were not, they were very keen in saying that yes, you have your CDS in 2 months and 2 months is not enough to clear CDS. You can obviously try for the next CDS if you join now. That's what they told. Here's the only place where they told yes, you can join and you can try for this one itself. We'll try our best.
Yes, yes.
So that is one of the major.
So what happened? Like where it led you to? How many exams, after coming to India, you made it?
I've cleared every defense exam I've written after joining NDI.
Yes.
Starting with as soon as I joined here, we had our AFCAT 2023, AFCAT 1 2023. I cleared it, and the next 1 month we had this Coast Guard 1 2023
ICG exam.
ICG. I cleared that, and then within 20 days, 15 days, April 16th was my CDS 1 2023. It was my last attempt for permanent commission in IMA Academy.
IMA entry.
I did clear that also. Continuously.
Just cleared, sequence of exams immediately after.
And after that, I've written even the recent AFCAT and CDS also. Whatever I've written, I've cleared all the CDS and AFCAT and Coast Guard exams.
Great. So how was your experience in India? So what are the moments that you can still remember of after you coming here? How was the faculties and all here? So how was your total overall experience and the moments that you had here in India?
I've actually enjoyed my stay over here. I felt like very comfortable at home because I'm not someone who is very used to attending these coaching classes and tuitions and all. Especially on the day one, I felt very awkward sitting in the classes after years of graduation.
Yes.
1 year of break, 1.5 years.
I have to start again. Yes.
Sitting in the classroom as a student was something very different for me after the break. But then later on, within a few days itself, once I got used to it and became very comfortable with the atmosphere, I didn't even feel the difference. And since I was doing well and the staffs are also very encouraging over here, I didn't hesitate to ask anything. Let it be the worst of doubts or worst of issues, I used to raise everything to the staffs. And I used to get things sorted out for whatever was required for me. Let it be the materials that is being provided, or let it be the doubts or extra classes. I even asked for, I still remember, I used to ask for these extra mathematics classes on weekends and on Saturdays and Sundays. And whatever I asked for was done. I got it because as soon as I requested for classes, those classes were kept only on the basis of my request alone. So that was something which I liked about it, because I knew that I needed those classes to get through the exam, and on my request alone it was done. So that was something very happy for me.
Yes. Good.
And talking about the experience here, a lot of things have happened. Especially what I liked was the classes. Once I'm a kind of person who is very sharp on the classroom learning. That has been with me from childhood. I don't go home and study, but obviously for this exams I had to study.
Yes.
But my classroom learning is very good. Once if something is told to me in the class in a clear and explicit way with some examples or something, I'll have it in my mind forever. I'll not forget it so easily.
That's how an aspirants do prefer, isn't it? Okay, learn in the classes.
Learn in the classes and get it done, and then revise just before exams. That was very comfortable over here because my house is very far from the institute, and for me traveling one way itself will take minimum of 1.5 hour at least. I used to come and go by the local electric train. So I'll not have enough time to go back and prepare or do something for it, and I even don't do this homeworks and certain things and all whatever is being told in the institutes, and I even reach late for the classes also. But those 7 to 8 hours which I'm spending here, I'll attend all the classes. I'll make sure whatever is being taught is understandable and it's going into my mind.
Yes.
And even if I'm having any doubts, I'll get it sorted during the lunch breaks or tea breaks, wherever it is, and I'll finish it here itself, so that I don't have to take stress of redoing it in the late night studies and all, because I'm not a night person. I sleep very early.
Okay. So it just helped you. You just made it accustomed to your own routine also,
schedule,
so that
yes.
even more helpful for you. Thank you. With respect to SSB, how helpful India was to you? With respect to SSB, exams is fine.
Yes,
you clear a lot of exams after joining here. With respect to SSB, how helpful it was? Like how was Greesh before coming? With respect to SSB grooming, Greesh before NDA, Greesh after coming to NDA, what you can feel like? How you can differentiate?
The major difference that I felt was my initial 3 attempts of SSBs. I went as a fresher without knowing much about SSB. I just got things from my friends who have already been to SSBs, and that's how I went. I was screened in. But then yes, I got conference out, that's a different thing. But later on, after a break, I got screened out continuously 4 times, which I couldn't accept myself. So, but once after coming here, I was able to find out where and all I was lagging. Especially, I have a tendency to speak fast. And yes, this may not sound very odd, but it will show us as being very nervous in the SSB.
Yes.
These things I understood while practicing over here, and that's when I realized, yes, I had to do certain things like the way I write my stories, the narrations, and even though I was doing everything well, me speaking very fast and showing the desperation and nervousness is obviously getting me rejected, and this has been a major reason for my screen out.
Yes.
This is something I got here, and I got a crystal clear idea about screening process, and from that date I've given like 9 SSBs later on, and I've never been screened out.
Yes.
Even now I'm very confident if I go for an SSB right now, I'll be able to get screened in.
Yeah.
And later on, in the other processes as well, I had to work even more. I had to like keep on trying on where and all I was lagging or what are the shortcomings. And when I met Commandant Anand sir, that is when he told me these two things. That he asked me just one question: why are you not able to write 60 SRTs? This is what I told my recommendation attempt as well. I've been trying till date, but until he asked me this question of why am I not able to write those 60 SRTs, I myself used to think that yes, 30 to 40 is enough. But then he told 30, 40 probably maybe just enough for a fresher. But for a candidate like me who has given so many SSB attempts and if I'm not even able to write 60 SRTs, then what is the whole point?
Why not? Yes.
He told it to me in the way, so I'll understand, very sharp, nothing hiding back, not holding anything back. Straightforward he told me, you're not able to write enough SRTs, obviously you'll not get recommended. Then that hit me, I understood that, okay, I had to work on my numbers, that was one thing. And the same way he told for my individual obstacles as well. That being a repeater, I'm expected to repeat those obstacles. But until before that, I had never repeated obstacles. I'll be done with 9 or 10 obstacles comfortably and I'll sit smilingly. But then he told, yes, repeating obstacles as a repeater, because since I know the process multiple times, it has to be done. And then later on attempts, I had put extra efforts to make sure I'm at least repeating 1 or 2 obstacles again, and I was successful with that.
Fine.
This has been the things which are very helpful for me during my SSB process.
Fine, great that you got this many insights. Yes, good. And let's come to one important area that we have to address, and
which are very helpful for me during my SSB process.
Fine, great that you got this many insights. Yes, good. And let's come to one important area that we have to address, and this is for the aspirants who are watching this video. There are a lot of myths surrounded this SSB, right? That some people say, oh, you have to practice this much. And some people say you have to run 20 kilometers, and some people say you have to read some 10-15 books which are supposed to be defense books, so that then only you can be recommended. There are a lot of myths surrounded it. So what are the myths that you as an aspirant you believed, and later you realized that is not the actual thing, and you yourself learned it that it is not? Yes, can you share any of those myths that you debunked for yourself?
Yes, sir. One major myth I'll say is that repeaters don't get recommended, especially the ones with the more number of conference attempts. I felt that
this is one of the top-notch myths that is surrounding across the people, right? Yes.
Especially just before my recommendation attempts, when I got conference out, I realized I already have like 7 to 8 conference outs. I thought, okay, no one is going to recommend me anymore, and that's the end of my SSB journey and defense life. But then once I got recommended, there was actually a mythbuster for a lot of people over there also. Even they believed that after these many attempts, I may not make
exactly.
it.
Even you told that all the people are happy for you. So like you stood there as a testimony for the people who thought I can still go.
Yes. They all believed that yes, even though I have the potential, I've seen a lot of conferences. So me getting recommended is not happening. But once I got recommended in front of everyone were actually very happy, and I was even this was one of the greatest myths.
Yes.
I could understand after my recommendation.
Once you get older, you are not fit like that. They think. Fine.
This is one. Good. Apart from this, there are certain myths like reading books and newspapers. I'm not saying reading books and newspapers is a wrong habit. It is one of the best hobbies or habits which we as an individual can form. But it is not everyone's cup of tea. For example, I'm not someone who's having very keen about reading books. That is not something which I like to do. I like to watch visuals more than reading. In the same way, I don't like to have these big newspapers and read. But still, knowing whatever is happening in and around us is the most important factor as a human being, leaving SSB aside. So without doing these things, obviously I may not sustain in SSB. I have the habit of reading news online. I know whatever is happening around me. I have multiple news channels and apps that I've subscribed and watch that. But yes, books and newspapers, these things will only get you recommended. This is a very big myth, because even till date I don't read books or I don't read newspapers, and I've got recommended twice.
Yes. So just get information.
Yes.
You are well informed, but not in the way of reading. Okay?
Yes.
Like full-fledged reading. Yes, because this is also one of the myths that is surrounded by the people. Okay, they think that only even though your hobby is not reading, still you have to read a lot. You just have to gain information. You just have to be well informed, but not always well read. Provided if your hobby is not reading, it will be very painful, isn't it? Fine. And also, this is another thing that I want to address, Greesh. What do you think about? There is another myth saying that some people say coaching is necessary for you to get recommended. Some people say no, only self preparation is enough for you to get recommended. So what do you think about this? Because you are the right person to address this, I suppose, because you are once upon a time you are being in a self preparation, then you came to get mentoring and guiding and all. So what do you think?
This is one thing which even I had during my initial phase of preparations. Even I used to think that yes, taking up coaching or guidance will change our own self and will not be able to project ourselves in the proper way, and that might actually not get us the desired result. This was running in my mind for a long time. But then later on, given that I've given these many attempts, then I've interacted with n number of SSB candidates, that yes, whenever I go for any SSB centers or for exams, at least 10 or 15 people will be able to recognize me and they'll come and talk to me, because I've interacted with so many people. After doing all these and my own experience, I can say that this coaching and guidance is not something which has to be avoided completely. At the same time, I'll not say this is the only way to get recommended, but taking mentorship and guidance is actually very required, given that defense is a very it's something where we don't get a lot of time like the UPSC exams or the other banking, whatever the other government exams. We don't get ample time of 10 or 12 years to prepare for the exams.
Just hard 4 or 5 years, obviously.
We can't
24,
yes,
25.
We can't have this trial and error basis things in defense. We hardly get 4 or 5 years after the graduation. And there also, this one process takes around 1 year to get completed. By the time we know the results, it will be 1 year over.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yes.
Yes.
So, if at all, obviously, if we want to make it, we'll have to find ways to do it. And one of the best ways is to take mentorship at the initial phase itself, which I didn't do in my early phase. That is the reason why it took me 2.5 years to get recommended.
Yes.
If I had taken, because people who are going to SSBs may be knowing, as a fresher, we'll have a better opportunity to get recommended. So as a fresher, if we are going to SSBs with some given guidance and like a proper knowledge about SSB through someone or some institute, we'll get to know that yes, we know what to do, what not to do in the SSB, so that we'll have a higher probability or a higher chance to get recommended in our first attempt itself.
Yes. So what you said is true. In fact, what not to do is more important in SSB rather than what to do. Because most of the people do the thing, but they will not avoid the things what not to do. Yes, that's that's really good what you said. Yes. And another thing is that in YouTube you can see a lot of contents are there with respect to SSB preparation. And internet is full of lot of junk of information is there. And with respect to YouTube, okay, so what is your suggestions for the aspirants? Like, is it how to use it properly? Because there are a lot of informations, lot of videos regarding SSBs, IOs, and other things and all. How you what suggestions you can give to this aspirant so that they can take the right information for them?
Talking about YouTube videos, sir, even during my initial phase, I also followed certain YouTube videos only to get to know the basics about SSB. Because if we call out for SSBs, most of the things are we'll never know if you ask a common person, because they'll only be able to tell their imagination. But unless we see it for ourselves, we'll not know what is actually happening in SSBs. So that is when these YouTube videos come into play. They'll show us what is actually happening, those processes and just, for example, the individual obstacles. Just for example, yes, those kind of obstacles we may not encounter in our day-to-day life. But once we see that and prepare that through some videos, we'll get to know, yes, we can expect, yes, we'll go prepared for those particular things. Same way for the screening stage. All that we'll get to know from normally from the internet. If we Google us, we'll be having a OIR test and a PP and DT session. But no one will know how a PP and DT session will happen. But if we go through a proper video from YouTube,
you get an idea.
Yes, we get an idea about what will actually happen, what we can expect in the process. But at the same time, yes, understanding about the basic is very good for everyone. We can do it from any YouTube video. But the results, each and after every video, there are people giving out their suggestions and their views about whatever happened. That is where we'll have to filter out the right ones and the wrong ones, because each and every video, different people will be giving us different suggestions, different opinions. So it will obviously be confusing in us. And
just take it, replicate it, it will be like, you will be misguided.
Yes,
right.
There will be a lot of issues. In the end, we'll be confused about what to do and will not do anything at all. We'll not even do what actually we are supposed to or meant to do. So that will become a major problem. So sorting out and filtering out what is required for us and what is not required for us is the major job.
So YouTube content is fine as long as you are not misguided, you are not too much absorbed into it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. Fine then. So I think we are into the last phase of our interview, I suppose, and there are many people who are watching this video, and aspirants who are in the final years, the NCC Cadets, and also the people who knows, maybe who got screened out or conference out watching this video. And there are people, aspirants, who are like dying. Okay, they are just doing everything they can to be in the service. And what suggestions that you can give to these aspirants? And just share a few words with us, because you are an aspirant who, as you tell, who got 14-15 attempts to be in this place. What you can say to them? Yes, share a few words to them.
My suggestion for all the aspirants would be, yes, it may sound old and very boring as well, but not to give up on the process, not to give up on our own self. That has to be the major part where that is the major thing that will help you pursue whatever dream you are following on. Let it not be defense, or let it be something else. It could be anything what we are dreaming. This is my childhood dream. I've been dreaming of becoming an army officer right from my childhood, from class 1 or 2. Probably it may sound like a joke, but right from then till date, this has been my dream and I've pursued it. The only thing was, if you have been going for SSBs, you will obviously know there are multiple people who will give up after 1 or 2 rejection in SSBs. I've given 15 attempts so far. This hasn't been very easy, and that too over a period of 2.5 years, clearing multiple exams, working hard for it. I know that aspirants will be knowing clearing CDS is not an easy cup of tea. We can't just randomly go attempt the exam and clear it. I've put in a lot of effort and hard work behind it. So what we'll have to do is, we should never give up on what we are trying. We should always categorize about what to do, what not to do. Planning our journey is very important. We'll have to plan what will be our backup, and if we don't have a very financial, stable financially, so we'll have to plan for that also from the behind. We'll have to make sure we have a passive income or something that is supporting our career and also our family. At the same time, pursue our dream with a lot of effort and hard work. Efforts and hard work are directly related to success. If we're not having these two, for whatever we do, however long we wait without putting in efforts, we're not going to make it, absolutely. But once we start putting in efforts and we work hard for it, definitely, if not on the 1 attempt, if not in the second attempt, we'll make it in the 3rd or 4th attempt. That's also
good. Fine then. So Greesh, you are going to join OTA GAYA in March 28th.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like, how excited you are?
Yes, sir. I'm very much excited, but as I already told, I was only focused on preparing and working hard for my particular SSBs and interviews. I never felt about what will happen next or what am I going to do next and all. So I'm also on the eager of suspense of what is going to happen in the academy. I'm very much eagerly waiting for it.
Good. Fine then. So how do you see yourself, Greesh, in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, so since I'm joining Army, my favorite service, and my favorite arm is to in the Army Aviation Corps. I wish to become a helicopter pilot. So probably in the next 5 years, you can see Captain Greesh flying a helicopter somewhere near Siachen.
Yeah, good then. Okay, this conversation went well. Thank you, Greesh, for having us.
Thank you, sir.
So